Uh, let's see. I put out after underneath that, I was kind of like that popped into my head. If you wanna, the afterlife. So this kind of randomly popped into my head. I watched a I was just curious. It was like one random like night. I was just up and I just thought of death. And so like I YouTubed it and I just asked what happens after death, and there's like a bunch of interesting theories and things like that. And then there was like some where like someone like say he or she was mentally handicapped, and then they like acted normal for like maybe for an hour, then they passed on into the afterlife type thing. um yeah, I know. I thought about it a lot. It's like after what happens when you die type of thing, and I was kind of like, huh. My spine like shivered, sent shivers down my spine when I thought about it. So like I don't know. A lot of people were thinking, there's you go to heaven, you go to hell type of thing, and I guess in my own world, in my own reality, I guess I'm pretty sure you'll maybe have a there'll be maybe an afterlife. There's a You'll reborn into something or someone type of thing. And I remember there was a quote on a YouTube comment section saying like, well, nobody knows nobody knows what happens before you were born type of thing. So I was kind of like, what? That's kind of true, because what happened before I was born? What happened type of thing. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting just to give our thoughts about it type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, from the religious side of view, I think obviously like the Christian side of things is that you go to heaven or hell.
Yeah.
You either burn for all eternity or you're up in there, up in the clouds. I don't know. I feel like the more interesting question is, if you believe in heaven or whatever, uh, what does that actually mean? And I think people have a distorted view of what that's going to be. I think a lot of times we think it's like, well, the work is done, and now I'm just going to sit there and eat grapes in the sky with God. And it's like, I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think like work and toil and all like the hardship, not hardship, but like work in itself, like I don't think that's just going to go away. And even in heaven, like call me crazy, but I
You
feel
need
like
to
there's still
work
like,
while you're up here.
yeah, but I feel like that, I feel like you can do that, but you don't get, like it'll be different in a way that's like, I work an 8 hour shift and I'm exhausted at the end of my 8 hour shift. My head's tired. I feel like you won't get tired. And then it's like you can have more meaningful work. Like, when you're, for lack of a better term, in the zone in life and like everything just seems to be firing, like for whatever reason, like for me, when I'm closing the books down, sometimes it's a smooth month end and there's no roadblocks and everything just seems to pop. Or when I'm
No issues, no
studying,
nothing.
yeah, and I feel like maybe that's what it is. Like work is different, but it's always perfect, and like you're always the best at what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I feel like that's probably more realistic. But I feel like a lot of people have this distorted perception. Like, I mean, obviously nobody knows, but I feel like, would that be boring? Like, how long can you do that for? Like, if you have any sort of free will, how long is that going to last before you just lose your mind?
Use your
So,
mind to it.
um, I feel like you have to be still progressing, I guess, or still building towards something.
Hmm.
So I think that's more of an interesting question for me. And I think the opposite would be the case in hell or whatever. Like the opposite would be, I guess I don't necessarily think it's gonna be like physical torture. I mean, there probably is some, there probably is that as well, but I think it's to the point where you have to work still, and then it never, when it's not working out, and it's
Every
always not in the zone.
everything is gonna fall short, or some sort, something bad is gonna happen to you, and you're kind of like, oh, this is gonna make my
Yeah, and
day
it
even
just
worse, or make my progression even slower, or things like that.
yeah, and I think that's probably what it's more so like that because I think that, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I saw
Well,
your note on there, and I was like, that's what I was thinking about was like people's misguided perception of what probably will happen. Because I really highly doubt that it's just going to be us sitting up there just
yeah.
talking.
Just hey, bro,
I
what's
really don't
up?
think that's going to be it.
You made it, man. You made it past the gate.
Yeah, where's the bar? I don't think that's going to be it. I really don't. And I hope it's not. Who would want that? Like
That'd be
really, like
boring.
our good buddies bachelor party this weekend, and it's gonna be a pretty big drunk fest, and we're gonna have a
Commit a
lot
lot
of
of
fun.
sins.
But like that's gonna be 2 nights. Can you imagine doing that for 2 weeks?
No,
You know what I mean? And that's
I
what I
would. I
feel like people
wanna.
think is gonna be like no, I don't want to do that even if I didn't get hangovers.
Yeah.
You know, like that doesn't sound like you know, really that fun. Like I think fun is when I- to me at least, when I look to a new challenge and I overcome that challenge. So like
Mm-hmm.
the podcast, like trying to make the podcast successful, I feel like that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Getting up that off the ground, and like for me, I'm studying for my CPA right now. Like once I get that over, like that was a lot of work and it sucks. But once I get it done, it's all going to make it work. Like getting a degree or anything like that, or getting a promotion.
Yep.
But all that involved actual hard work, and I feel like people associate heaven with like this lack of work. And that's a big problem with Here on Earth. I think that's a big problem because I think the most important things in life, for the most part, that you can accomplish are they're not just cakewalks. You know, it's not easy
We're all
to do things that
we're
are
all gonna be
hard.
bums. We're all gonna be bums in the clouds.
Yeah, like I just don't think that's the case. I really don't. I mean, I hope it's not. Otherwise, I'll lose my mind. I'll be one of a few, I suppose. But
I would say maybe the South Park version of hell might be a lot funner. You know.
yeah, I don't know, man. That was
Yeah.
my thought when you mentioned that, and yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's heaven or hell.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be the other way around where the Islam people they sacrifice themselves and then there's like 41 virgins waiting for them in heaven or things like that. You know, that's a good way to go out thinking like that. Then
Yeah.
it turns out they're on the other side of the world.
Well, that sounds a lot like what I was saying. Like, like, do you really want to deal with 72
It's like
virgins?
72 virgins. You're like, no.
No, I'd lose my mind with that. So, I mean, it sounds really good.
It sounds good on paper. Then once you actually actually do the play, you're like,
Like,
wow, this
that's
fucking
really like
sucks.
that's it. It's like
Yeah.
$10,000 for an OnlyFans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a
Like,
very very good comparison.
like, are you going to be up there more than 72 days? Because they're not all going to be virgins after 72 days. Probably less than that. I mean,
you you give me 3 days.
I mean, if you have unlimited stamina, because
Yeah,
your stats are all maxed you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't sound like seems like kind of a raw deal. Like, I don't know.
No pun
Not for me.
intended.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound like a great. Like, is that as far as our imagination can go? It's like getting
Oh,
laid.
getting laid, getting all the chicks. Oh
Like that
yeah.
doesn't, that doesn't seem like my version of heaven. Like it's definitely there for sure, but it's just like that's not like the primary focus, and it seems like that's the primary focus for some of these uh, religions.
Yeah.
So
Well, well, maybe we'll pick up on it another time when we have some other time with it.
yeah, I got to be
Uh,
on a gummy. I got to be on some gummies or something. We can talk about it.